Hey everybody. So I just wanted to go over our edits for today and just talk about them a little bit, keep it short this week. This week and next week will be short. Okay, so let's take a look at, first we've got Danielle. And Danielle's edits were really good. So let's just take a look at, hold on a second. Okay, so this one, for example, I see a lot of saturation in your colors. The sky color is beautiful, how it kind of blends down into this, pale violet. I really like the orange against the blue. Those are complementary colors. So that's really pretty to me. So this one turned out good. And then this one I think made everyone happy because I remember reading someone say that made that old kind of washed out playground look really vibrant and fresh again. So bravo, Danielle. And then this one we all love, I think. Mushroom Lovers Unite. This is so cute. I love it. The texture is just gorgeous. So that's a beauty. All right, let's go. Or we're going really quick tonight. Let's see. So you were using Camera Raw. I think what you mean is the filter? I think. In Photoshop, like I showed. Yeah, not Raw. But it's still good practice. All right. Yes, fabulous. And you got some really good feedback. It's really great when you submit early and then everyone gets a chance to comment. It's the best. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, next is, we shall see. There we go. Next is Kira. So Kira says she's learning a lot, which I love. And Bridge, yeah. I know that it has so many features, but I tend to just use it for organizing. So I think I've said that already, but it is it's really nice because you can just open up your images and it'll go right from Bridge, where everything's organized, into Photoshop. It'll just double click and boom, you're in Photoshop. So that saves a step, saves some time, gets everything open at once. Yeah, there's a lot of bells and whistles, and I'll tell you, I don't even know all those bells and whistles. Far from it. I kind of tend to stick to my comfort area with what I normally use, and that works for me. If you are interested in learning more about the tools, we'll learn a whole different set of tools when we get into portraits, and skin tones and imperfections in skin and things like that. So right now we're keeping it very simple. And you said adjusting by feel. That's the way we do it as artists, really. We go with what feels right. And thank you again for getting that printing website updated for me. And you got some really good feedback. Don't you just love that? Wow, everybody loved your pictures. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at your file. Here we go. And there's our little buddy, praying mantis. So I notice a difference in clarity here. Contrast, you might have just done contrast because that fixes a lot of things at once. And so we've got some nice edges. And yeah, I think this is beautiful. This one really surprised me because it wasn't my favorite earlier, the original image, but it's warmed up so much that I kind of get the feeling like I'm there, and it's just a warm, sunshiny summer day, and the colors of the clovers are beautiful. There's like highlights everywhere. It's just joyful. And then this one came out so sharp. The clarity is beautiful. The blur is beautiful. Love this picture. So I think you impressed a lot of people, Kara. Nice work. And next we've got Jess. Okay, so Jess, you are too sweet. I'm glad that my feedback is making sense, and that's pretty amazing that you're already doing photo editing for other people. That's amazing. And at the end of this, you'll have a website and a portfolio of work. So you're going way above and beyond. And I understand about rereading. I reread and reread and reread, and eventually, when I do it, that's when it sinks in for me. So you look at it, you read it, then you try it. So each little thing, if you can just go into your images and try each little thing, in the tutorials, that's the best way to get it into your brain and practice doing it. So Jess was the second set of pictures, and let's go ahead and look at yours. Okay, so here's Jess. It does not want to open for me. Okay, let's see. Okay, let me try something else. Alrighty, there we go. I think. Okay, hold on, let me see what's happening. Okay, here we go. So here's your boardwalk image, and I think this is just perfectly edited. You've brightened up the colors, you've warmed it up a little bit. It's nice and clear, gorgeous. This one I really like too. I think by increasing the contrast a little bit, you've made that little halo there of light more prominent. And now I also notice it up here in the top of the windows. So that is really cool. Once we get deeper into editing, I want to show you about lens distortion and how we can fix that in Camera Raw. And then we could kind of straighten out, do you see the bow? That's like there's a little bit of a lens distortion on the windows. And we can fix that, we can make it perfect. And then I think we talked about the windmill. So the sky is so pretty that you just don't even notice the windmill anymore. So that color is just so gorgeous. So I think what we're going to have to do is tone down that blue to make the windmill look more prominent. We could even jazz up the greens a little bit, saturate them a little more. And then another thing that we're going to learn about is in Camera Raw, you can do spot adjustments. So you can make a brush like say you want more clarity. Okay, you can just paint, you know, make the brush a clarity brush, and then you can kind of just paint over the thing that you want to be really sharp and standing out. You can also, you know, blur backgrounds and things like that in Photoshop. So we'll get into that in the future, near future. All right, great job, Jess. And next is Clark. So Clark, so you took on your phone, image quality not that great. Yeah, so getting those raw files going on, that's going to be really big for us, especially this coming week. And you never used Photoshop before, huh? So I wonder about your images last week, because you didn't really respond to my feedback, and I'm just wondering, because I thought your images were really, you know, the color was edited as far as I could tell. So now let's go into Photoshop here and look at some of your images. This one for me, when I first saw it, I was just like totally shocked. It's like, wow! Because I thought myself that it had already been a little over edited in the original. So this one has gone so much further, and plus you added all these things. Well, I'm super happy that you're enjoying Photoshop. So posterize, that's a filter. And I don't really see where that does that much difference. Do you see? Vibrance. Also, I don't see where that changes things a lot. Color balance. Yeah, kind of liked it before. And channel mixer. See, that's kind of fascinating. I really like it before. And then photo filter. See, I love having the different, the explosion of that, that, you know, that cobalt blue, that cool blue. For me, is just, it's too much. So if we keep taking things away, we're getting back to what I thought was a good edit. And see now, brightness, contrast, I like that. So for me, I would stop there. For me, this is already a little bit too saturated. I would probably desaturate a little bit. And if you have the original image, could you please show that to me? Because I would love to see it. I want to know what exactly is happening with the light in this picture. And then this is your next one. And I kind of love it. To be honest, I kind of love it. I think I love the difference in light between here and here. However, in this yellow area, I can see a little bit of pixelation. So to me, that means like the yellow is saturated a little bit too far. So we could go, let's see. See, that posterize doesn't make that big of a difference. Nor does channel mixer. Color balance. Yep, not really. And channel mixer. Okay, so this is where the big change happened, this exposure. So we could probably just take that down a notch. I like it there. I really do, and I don't see any pixelation here anymore, but we still have that nice yellow. Let's try that. Yep, that looks good. But I think as far as your saturation goes, You might want to go to the yellow and take that down a little bit. Just a little bit until we get rid of those spots. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem area. Another thing that you can do is in the Camera Raw filter, you can get rid of noise, what they call noise, which just is that pixelation. So that's another thing that we could try. But other than that, really like it. This one I really like too. It's got this whole for me it's almost a Star Trek kind of ambiance. The different colors of the light. It's just, I love the colors. Love it. I think this one turned out great. Okay, nice work, Joshua. And let's go to our next person. And that would be, wait a minute. Oh gosh. That wasn't Joshua at all, that was Ellis. Whoops. So sorry, Ellis. I'm looking at one person, thinking of another. And here's Tatum. Yes, it is complex. I just kind of threw my hands up. I was like, oh no, I'll never figure this out. When I first started, I'll never figure it out. It's too complicated. But you know, having taught it for so long, it just gets simpler and simpler the more you do it. And I'm happy to hear you're mildly satisfied. Yeah, bridge is good for organization. And you're right, repetition and practice. Okay, so we've got Georgia, and then we've got 2 Photoshop documents. So let's go to your folder first. And this picture is just pretty brilliant to me. We didn't see this in your original photo walk, but this must have been one of the ones you took at the same time during your photo walk. The eye is just so pretty. And it's, you know, a lot sharper than the other one I remember. And then this one, how cute. It's so sharp. And then we've got that shallow depth of field, which I love, you know. And I can see how, I think it was Angela that said that the colors are so saturated, they're kind of distracting. But I don't know. She's so sharp that it doesn't bother me that much. I think maybe just take down the reds a little bit. I would desaturate the reds a little bit. And then let's go to your work in Photoshop. So this one is yours, yes. Okay, so I found that you shared your Photoshop document here pretty fascinating. Because, okay, I don't see much difference there. But the brightness contrast was really good. And then the black and white. So you completely got rid of those red walls. I like the red walls. I think that the red walls are really cool. So it's really up to you. I mean, I guess the focus is more on the pup here. But I love it. I love the color. So really up to you. And then with this one, you tried a little bit of creating a mask, which I'm impressed. Although I think I like it better when this little one is brighter. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is beautiful. Okay, that looks great. Okay, done with Photoshop. thank you so much for sharing your camera. That is so helpful. I can't believe how does everybody afford these iPhone 13s? And you got some lovely feedback. Yeah, so when you submit Photoshop documents, if you don't have Photoshop on your computer, that's not going to open. If you don't have it on your phone, it's not going to open on your phone. So for me, I love seeing the Photoshop document. Then I can see exactly what you did. But if you're submitting Photoshop documents, I would also submit a JPEG. You know, save it also as a JPEG and submit that as well. So the people who, you know, are not able to open the Photoshop documents can still see the pictures. So that's my advice about that. And then next, here's Joshua. Okay, so Joshua's got quite a bit of experience, and sounds like you're really happy the things that you, you know, the tools that you used here, and I'm so glad that you're happy with the content. I think your pictures look amazing. So let's take a look at them. Oops, no. There we go. Okay, so this is just gorgeous. So clear, so bright. The money shot. This one too. It looks great. And you, Joshua, I don't want you to go another week without telling me what happened here, because this is just an incredible scene. It's from a movie, I swear. And I love how your editing made that smoke look like, you know, it's like lavender smoke now against the beautiful blue sky and the orange and black of the uniforms. That is definitely a keeper. Okay, next is Madison. Really liked your work too. Lorna. Okay, so you've never really done anything on Photoshop, so that's, yeah, it is overwhelming. You could watch tutorials for the rest of your life and never get all there is to know about it. I swear, unless you work for Adobe. And there is this one woman who does tutorials all the time, and she's incredible. She knows every little tiny thing. And you can find her on Adobe. She's their pro. Nothing wrong with cropping and straightening and adjusting colors. That's what we do. So I want to see your pictures in your folder. And I can't even, I'm just like flabbergasted how beautiful this picture came out with editing. I kind of want to say it's a little oversaturated, but I still absolutely love it. You know, this is like, you know, the guy in Bridge, this is a calendar shot. I love the little bit of violet in the sky. You know, this green is just crazy green, but I love it. This one is a big keeper for me. I would print that out, hang it on my wall. This one, I like it. It's still just a little bit blurry for me. And I also think I would crop it. I don't think we need all of the pebble. This one is another gorgeous photo. Gorgeous. It's just beautiful. However, one thing I do want to point out is look at the difference between the size of your image. So these two were not cropped, or maybe they were, but they were very similar. And this one was cropped so that it's shorter. Do you see what I mean? So one of the things that we want to always do when we're creating a series is maintain the same aspect ratio. So what that means is, if one of them is 4 inches tall and 3 inches wide, they all should be 4 inches tall, 3 inches wide. Okay, do you see what I mean? Because it's like you need that continuity, you need that, why can't I think of another word for it? I'll think of it, it'll pop into my head later. But yes, always maintain the same aspect ratio. So you could recrop this one, and I'd hate to miss this or this. So I'm not sure if you want to, yeah, I would keep it vertical, and I would keep whatever is down here rather than lose what's going on here and this guy. Definitely. Beautiful, beautiful. And Tatum liked your photos too. That first one, whew, blew me away. Okay, here, Madison. So, okay, most people don't know about Bridge anymore. It's kind of old school, to be honest, but I still find it valuable. So I think it's good to stick with it. Very nice. And if you like Lightroom, go for it. Lightroom is, to me, not my favorite because that's not the place where I learned. I learned in Photoshop, and so Lightroom's kind of annoying for me. I hate when I move something and then I can't find it. There's just little things about Lightroom. I know I have to get over it eventually, but I will. Okay, I'm glad you're feeling comfortable. All right, and then we'll take a look at your edits. Looks like Katie is into Lightroom too. And Angela loved how colorful you made Dothan look. I agree, I have to agree. All right. Wait a minute, this is not right. Hold on. Oh, okay, so I was looking at Katie because I saw Katie, but it's Madison's pictures we wanted to look at. This is perfect. Just perfect. You thrill me no end when you follow my advice. And this one, when I saw that fire hydrant, I was like, whoa, that is so red. And I think I would take the saturation down a little bit, just so that red is not so jarring. That is crazy bright red. But that said, I do love how bright this looks. I think it's lovely. And your self-portrait looks perfect. Great, great, great. Awesome, Madison. And you didn't really have any questions, so let's now go to Katie. Okay, so Katie hadn't heard of Bridge either, not unusual. She uses Lightroom too. Oh yeah, so you mentioned that when we were talking about Madison. Not a big fan of Photoshop. Oh, well, I have a Mac too, so I'm a Mac person. And while it's loading, I do something else. I'm not patient enough to wait. It's honestly only a few seconds. But we'll just have to get used to it because Photoshop is very important. I'm glad you feel comfortable. You don't want to critique your classmates' work. Well, Um, Really, just think of it as we're all in this class together, and everybody's learning together. I mean, even I am learning. I always try to, see new ways of looking at things and talking about photography. So I don't want you to feel like you can't say anything that you want to say. Of course, we have to be kind. And like I said in this week's post, you can create a kind sandwich. So start out with something that you really like about what the person did or what you think, and then throw in, maybe if it were me, I might have done this. You don't have to say it like, oh, this is awful. You should have never done that. Just say it kindly. And then finish off with a nice comment. So it's a kindness sandwich. And that's a great way to look at critiques. So I don't want you to feel like, you can't do it. We're all doing it. We're all doing critiques, and it's very important, and it's just how we learn together. All right, let's take a look at Katie's pictures. So I can tell, Katie, that you really are in love with this dead plant here. And I think this version, the edited version, is much better. It's so much more clear, defined, and it's so weird to me that this is closer to us than this, because doesn't it look like they're almost on the same plane or very nearly? So that's interesting to me, and I like the curves. The little shed here, I am loving this color. I am loving it. It's so nice to see. I think color is something that a lot of people put by the wayside when they think they want to create some fine art photography, but that's really no longer the case. You look at a lot of photographers' work and it's in black and white because those were the days where black and white photography was really the only thing that was affordable. So, I mean, color developing was very expensive in the film days. So, color is, it's life. So I welcome it. And so I really love this one. And then this image, I like how soft and dreamy it is still. I like the colors more. They're more natural. And I still think that this butterfly could be a little bit more clear. And once we get into like Camera Raw selection brush tools, then I'll show you how to do that. This one is a little bit clearer, so I think I like that one more. But I notice when you cropped, you kept the same aspect ratio, so I'm thrilled about that. I don't know if that was intuition, but it was a good one. Okay, next is Brandy. Well, Brandy, I'm thrilled that you loved the class. Yeah, so Photoshop, what I want you to do, you're saying some features don't work. Send me, take screen caps whenever you run into a problem, and I can troubleshoot with you. One thing there's a lot of little tricks in Photoshop that, why isn't this working? Why isn't this working? One of the things is unlocking your layers. So you see this little lock here? If you double click on that, of course you can choose a layer style, but it will also change it to an unlocked layer. You can also go up here to layers, rename the layer. I mean, there's a million things, but just double clicking on it will unlock it. So if you're an adjustment is not working or something, in editing is not working up here, that could be all it is. You also need to make sure that you're on the layer that has all the information. So say I click on this layer and I try to adjust saturation. Well, this is just a little mask down here, so you can't really adjust the saturation of the mask because it doesn't have any color. So those are just two little things that I have learned can stop you in your tracks. Yes, I'm so glad that you're looking closer. And saturation is amazing. So let's look at your folder. And these two lovely ladies are even more lovely. Look at how gorgeous their skin tone is. Oh my goodness. That is just delightful. And pretty much I'm happy with all of this saturation. I think that looks great. This one too, nice and bright. I think I would still increase the contrast and the clarity. Clarity you can increase in filters in Photoshop. Filter, camera raw filter. And then you'll get a clarity slider. And then also contrast, you know, it's easy, and image adjustments. And then this one I think is really soft and lovely. It looks natural, very natural. If it were me, I think I'd bump up the contrast just a little bit more, just to make the a pure white, you know, be one of the highlights in the flower. And that's just me. Okay, we're getting almost done here. And Angela. So Angela, I remember you saying that you posted a little bit late because you were trying to figure things out. Well, by all means, figure things out as you go, right? So you're familiar with organizing, and I'm so glad that you were able to figure these things out pretty quickly since you had some experience with elements. Printing at home, oh my gosh, it is such a huge deal. Wait until we get into printing. That's why I kind of did throw a little bit of it to you at a time, because I took a printing class and I swear I just felt like crying every day because it was so difficult. But I'm here to help you with printing at home and show you what I've learned from that so you don't have to struggle. And the whole raw format thing, so I'm guessing that you're, from your phone and still in RAW. Okay, so when you open up the folder that is your phone, or you see your images, what I do is I drag them to the desktop. And that way it doesn't change, because if you double click on it, on a file, and try to open it that way and save it, it will change the file. So hopefully that will help you. And okay, so this is your sister from week 1. The colors completely different than what you were seeing in Photoshop. Okay, there's so many things about like profiles and 8 bits and 16 bits. Keep in touch with me, Angela, and maybe you can do a screen cap of the difference, and then we can troubleshoot with that. And I have to tell you, this, for me, I could see this picture in a photo book. I just love it. And I love how it's even more saturated. There's so many great things about it. It's got, your sister's so much personality, just a ton of personality. Her clothing choice, her hairstyle, her tattoos. Just love it. That is one I would keep. And then this, wait a minute, hold on. Let's look in your folder so we're not. I'm going to scroll through images. This one I think is absolutely perfectly edited. I love the colors. I love how the green came out. I love the patterns. Little Thin Lizzy here is looking great, nice and sharp. So this one is perfect. And then this one I also think you did a really good job. Super clear. I like how you cropped it. No complaints here. So great work, Angela. And our last person is Jonna. And Jonna, I didn't get to see your photo walk. So hopefully you're going to submit that, because we're going to be working with our photo walk images again this coming week. So I'm happy that you were able to practice on some photos of your sweet kitty. But I really like to see the before and the after. So hopefully you can share with me the original images so that I can see, you know, exactly what you've done. I mean, you thought Bridge was scary? Aw. As long as you think about it as a place to store your images and just organize them, then you won't be scared anymore. Don't worry about all the bells and whistles like we said before. You know, if you continue with photography and continue to use it, you'll get to know them. Not really that comfortable with the class. Oh yeah, it will. It will. The more that you read and do and practice, the easier it will become. So, I mean, it does look like the red is really saturated here. And it looks really warm. This one, oh, let me just go to your folder. The second one is more muted, so there's less contrast. But oh my goodness, how precious. How precious is this little boy? Oh, adorable. So yeah, it looks like saturation is all I can really tell, and maybe increasing or maybe changing the temperature of the color, making it warmer. That's really all I can tell. But so far so good. All right, I can't wait to see more from you, Jonna, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.